Boopity boo.
Bang! Hello there, gaming fans! Welcome back to Storytime with the Hood! You know what that means. We are gonna pick up the tale of the life and suffering of Sir Hood Brante. In times of the fall of the blessed Orkneyan Empire, we have lived through Chapter 1, where we survived our childhood with only one death. Then, we lived through Chapter 2, which covered our adolescence. And yet again, we died, only to be reborn. And now, we take our first steps out into the world, away from the cover of the umbrella of our parents' protection, to forge a path of our own. Join me now for Chapter 3 and find out what happens to Hood Brante next. We are 16 years old, and this chapter tells the story of our youth, and it looks to cover another 8 years of our life as we approach maturity.
Leaving my hometown behind, I set out for the capital of the Empire. There, I would discover my role in society.
And what will that role be? Chapter 3, Youth. What do we have to look forward to this chapter? Leaving home, the driver flicks the reins, the carriage slowly sways as it starts moving away from your home. You stick your head out the window and wave goodbye to your family. Nathan is running after the carriage with Thomas's younger brother in tow, tears glistening in their eyes. It hurts to leave your home behind. Ahead lies Eterna, the imperial capital. You have often read about it and heard stories from Father and Stephen. It is a city that surpasses Anazotti enormously in terms of size, age, wealth, and beauty. But what is it really like? What kind of life awaits you there? What will you learn there? And where will your actions take you? You pass the old walls of Anazotti. Somewhere within them is the old fortress you and Tomas built together out of old wooden planks, now left to the care of your younger brothers. You two are adults now. Perhaps your fortress will crumble, now abandoned, or perhaps your brothers will continue what you started. Who knows? You look down at your hands, knuckles covered in scars from street antics, fingers stained with ink. Mother gave you a cross to wear away from home, and now you can feel its warmth against your chest. Your family counts on you, even though they all wish a different future for you. But they are behind you now, in Anazotti. From this point on, only you will decide which road you will take. This is the journey you prepared for throughout your entire childhood. Ahead of you lie many years in the capital, years that will determine your fate and your place in society. These are your personal qualities in adulthood, which you will use for the rest of your life. They are some of the qualities that you have gained in childhood and adolescence. Oh, I see, so they go together. So because my perception is 3 and my nobility is 5, my diplomacy is 8. My perception and ingenuity are both 3, which means my manipulation is 6. My perception and spirituality are 5, which means my theology is 8. My determination and nobility are both 5, which means my valor is 10. I'm a mediocre fighter. Don't worry, I'll get better. My determination is 5, my ingenuity 3, my scheming is 8. We definitely need to improve that. Determination 5, spirituality 5, eloquence 10. And that is where we find ourselves. With much to learn and improve, life paths that you will choose in this chapter. The path of the lotless, remaining in the common estate, but with no choice but to fend for yourself. Path of the priest, that's not going to happen, I don't even need to read it. Path of the nobleman, oh my god, true death. Accept true death, that's not going to happen either. Path of the nobleman, like your father and grandfather, you enroll in the Imperial College. That's what we're heading for. Aelis's rescue, an enigmatic singer known as the Golden Voice. Okay. Collapse of the Lotless. You fail to protect the Lotless. Oh dear. The Lotless at large. You rescue the Lotless. That's a decision I'm going to have to make. Bond of friendship. Swear an oath to Tomas. We'll see about that one. Shield of the New Faith. You side with the New Faith and support the transformation of the Church. We are ready to go! The year is 1134, and I am 16 years old. Arrival in the capital. It takes a whole month to reach Eterna. Jesus Christ, how far away was it? You and Tomas spend the days wagging your chins and staring at the scenery as your carriage makes its way along the road and towards the next province. Soon it crosses from the familiar barren arid lands of Magra to the stately mountains of Illyria. During one of your many stays at a roadside inn, the two of you even manage to share a whole bottle of strong wine and keep it a secret from the servant who drives the carriage. Adult life feels positively intoxicating. Oh, I can't remember his voice, damn it. Soon I tell ya, soon we'll get there, and I'll earn my sword as soon as I get accepted into the military academy. You'll see, and then nobody's gonna walk all over me like I'm some commoner. Is that right, Tomas? Is that what you're gonna do? You keep rehearsing everything they taught you in school. Soon you are almost at the end of your long journey. You have left behind the arid rocks of Magra, the mountains of Illyria, and the flooded meadows of Arknea. Eterna, the capital, is right ahead! Situated at the junction between Reglata and Talrina rivers, the city is vast. 3 majestic stone bridges keep its 3 shores interconnected. Smooth stone paves the main city streets. Gilded moldings decorate the buildings. Towering pillars reach high into the sky. Your carriage takes you past a spacious park with marble fountains and intricately trimmed bushes. On the streets you see ornately decorated carriages bearing Arknean coats of arms, and abundant merchants' tents filling the streets with beckoning cries and unusual sights. The spires of ancient temples dot the city skyline. The carriage comes to a halt on a large city square with a towering marble fountain. The coachman says, "You have arrived." Tomas is to apply to the military academy. The academy barracks are 2 streets away. Your lodging house is in the alleyway nearby. A room has already been reserved for you. You get out onto the street and say brief goodbyes to each other. You promise to meet again after the entrance exams. Then your friend disappears into the crowded streets of the capital. You are left to your own devices in this vast city. A group of nobles walk past. They are dressed in well-fitting clothing decorated with gems and golden thread. You are not even noticed. Street urchins chase a dog down the alleyway. Soldiers of the Imperial Legion are marching to fifes and drums towards the barracks. Humble pilgrims are gathering to the great temple of the twins. There are the sounds of music and fountains and the smells of baked bread and garbage trains. That's a nice mixture. You quickly check in at the lodging house, then go back outside. The sun is setting. The streetlights come to life. Merry music fills the taverns. Couples and noble coaches with tinted windows fill the streets. Shadows and hushed voices and laughter fill the parks. You are all alone with this city, so vast and unfamiliar. You take a look around, determined to fill your first night in the capital with memories. You see young nobles gathered by the fountain, talking and making jokes excitedly. One of them keeps glancing at the clock tower. They are about your age. Their clothes are hand-tailored, and 2 of them bear noble swords. They seem to be waiting for something. It might be a good idea to make their acquaintance. It would be most helpful to develop a familiarity with the influential nobles of the capital. They're not going to accept me. Loud music from a large establishment on the corner distracts you for a moment. The servants have just opened the shutters to air out the hall. It seems there will be a gathering inside. People from various estates greet each other as they take their seats. A servant by the door of the establishment hails you. Sir Gert Arkwright will be making a speech about the rights of the common estate. If you wish to listen, you better get inside quickly. Then you look at the great temple of the twins at the far end of the street. The pillar shines in the evening dusk above it. The temple gates are open and worshippers are flocking inside. There are too many people for an ordinary service. This must be something important. What do they preach here in the capital? What do they say of the new faith and of the teachings of Patriarch Photis? Is this my choice? What do I do? You snap out of your reverie when you hear loud laughter. A group of young men dressed in the colours of the Imperial College have made the acquaintance of several lovely girls. They are making their way down the road, united by merriment. One of the girls smiles at you. It is an invitation to join them. They turn the corner and walk away, but you can still hear their voices ringing and echoing through the street. A night of revelry and jolly loud fun doesn't sound half bad. This is your first night in Eterna. No matter what you choose, you will remember it for a long time to come. Okay, the temple is out of there straight away. Arkwright's speech. I don't really care about the rights of commoners. I intend to become a noble. Now, do I go and meet the noble youths and probably get rejected, or do I run after the students and join in the fun? Fun can come later. We need to start making acquaintances. And quick! We're new in the city and we know nobody. I need to know the right people so I can get up the ladder and start destroying the system from within. You approach the young nobles and introduce yourself tactfully. Your father, a judge, has sent you here to study, you explain. Would they mind showing you around the capital? The nobles eye you uncertainly and whisper to each other. You prepare to face their rejection, but to your surprise, they agree. Excellent. When the clock tower strikes 8, your new acquaintances proceed to a rich house not too far away. Candlelight fills the halls before you, reflected in abundant mirrors and gilded picture frames. Manservants bring drinks and refreshments to every guest. There are sounds of music and laughter and small talk. Here and there you see couples dancing to the music. It appears you have made it to a small noble party. The nobles are gathered in groups. You take the time to get introduced to each of them and join in their small talk. Some discuss their studies at the college, while others relay fresh gossip. Have you heard that a Milonidas carriage was seen in the city the other day? You mention how you once encountered Octavia Milonidas, daughter and heiress to the Archduke of Magra, at a square in Anazotti. These words draw a small crowd. That's it, I'm making friends, I'm getting attention. The Milonidas dynasty rarely, if ever, visits Eterna. They say it is the only house that can stand its ground against the Imperial Tempest dynasty. One young man even allows himself a little joke. They say that the great Arcanian houses turn to a Milonidas only when a Tempest needs to be refused. After all, only the Milonidas dynasty still knows how to say no. Ha 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 ha! Is that funny? I don't know. It's a joke, we have to laugh. But there is more. It turns out all humans owe the Milonidas dynasty for their foray into nobility. Char Milonidas was the Arcanian who opened the first college, and its graduates were the first to be ennobled by the mantle. To feed and nourish their barren land, the Dukes of Magra took to industry and began adopting innovative industrial and social practices. The dynasty's motto is remembrance and majesty, but strife and change would suit them better. Then the nobles start discussing the other great Arcanian dynasties. The Tempest dynasty is the first one naturally, marked by the twins, anointed to rule. All Tempests are known for their sincerity, often bordering on a volatile temper, yet it is this very passion that has led them throughout history. The Tempests have been chosen by the gods to rule the empire. The Diamant dynasty are the main supporters of the emperor's family, honor personified. The Diamonds preside at the Arcanian courts of honor that remain throughout the empire in spite of the public taboo. These courts hold more sway over the laws and lives of the nobility than imperial edicts or prefectural authorities. Some mention Patriarch Junius Diamant, the black sheep of his own dynasty. He preaches the new faith that rejects the lots and stirs the mind of the common folk. The Orgriff dynasty is another noble bloodline favoured by the emperor. They zealously advocate the twins' faith and see the empire as the union between heaven and earth. Every year, the Orgriffs donate enough funds to build new temples across the empire. The Monroe dynasty is an ancient and controversial name. The Monroes often speak in favour of removing humans from nobility, restoring nobility as a solely Arcanian privilege, and returning all human-manned offices in the Empire to the Arcanians. Many gossipers accuse the Monroes of plotting against the rule of the Tempests to bring back the old Arcanian Republic and the joint rule of the great Arcanian dynasties as it existed long before the emperors first came to be. The discussion of courtly affairs and noble dynasties soon gives way to cultured entertainment. Expensive wine flows like water. You too ask a couple of noble ladies to dance and show your skill. You return to your lodging room in the small hours of the night with just enough strength left to undress before your aching head and feet make you collapse. For the first time in your life, you have mingled with a noble crowd on your own without your family's aid. Excellent. Arrival to the capital. You arrived in Eterna, the ancient capital of the blessed Arcanian Empire. Luke's sermon. You have spent the last 3 days studying books, but today you decide to take a walk through the streets of Eterna. They are full of life as usual. You proceed to the square next to the lodging house. A procession of priests walks through the square. You notice that one of them holds a banner of the new faith, an open book. This is the same banner that was behind Patriarch Fotis on the day of his assassination. A crowd immediately gathers around them. Many people are looking at an icon painting on a small pedestal depicting a grey-haired man with glowing green eyes. You recognize that face, the face of the late Patriarch Fotis. A man with a thick beard appears by the icon painting. His broad shoulders bear a white and gold cloak with the coat of arms of the capital province embroidered on it. He is Luke, Patriarch of Arcania. He casts his stern gaze over the crowd. I speak to all who live within the sight of the shining pillar. Exactly 1 year ago we lost Fotis, Patriarch of the Magra province, mentor of the new faith. Patriarch Fotis was the first to see the books of Isatius, for nothing but the words of a man, not the words of the twins themselves. He was the first to tell people to seek the path to the gods in their own hearts instead of blindly following the lots. To seek answer in the lives of the twins and their own hearts rather than the words of priests. Through Patriarch Fotis, we were able to see the truth. Through his death, we saw that his words are not heresy. They are the truth that used to be obscured by Isatius's lies. And now I bring good news. Patriarch Junius Diamond has seen to it that our teacher will be canonized as a saint. Yes, Junius Diamond, an Archnean from a great dynasty and the Patriarch of Astenia, has joined the new faith himself, and through this, we hope that the entire Empire will soon see that our doctrine is the truth. We are free from the shackles of the lots. We are equal before the twins. With each day, more and more people hearken to the truth, and one day the entire Empire will hear our call. So, let us pray, my brothers. The believers around you bow their heads in prayer and thank the twins, not for the lot they were given, as they usually would, but for the chance to choose their own path. The Patriarch's sermon is inspiring. It compels your hands to meet in a sign of prayer. It compels your lips to repeat the words of the new faith. Patriarch Luke's sermon forms a cadence, and your heart beats in time with it now. You recall the murder of Patriarch Photis a year ago. It seems more patriarchs share his doctrine now. The news of Junius Diamond joining the new faith is stunning. If an Archnean from the great dynasty has sided with Photis' doctrine and agreed to see everyone as equals under the twins, the new faith must truly be putting down roots. But suddenly several figures appear by the podium, figures clad in black with glinting silver on their sides. Inquisitors! They push around the crowd and form a circle around Patriarch Luke. One of these priests rises before the crowd. He is clean-shaven, tall, with chiseled features. Everyone falls silent at the sight of him. The Inquisitor speaks with a booming voice that can be heard by all. Get my booming voice ready. I am Father Ulrich, in the name of the twins, and by my right as an Inquisitor, I order you to turn around and leave. The words you are hearing are full of lies. Patriarch Luke has set out to poison your hearts and minds, and the Inquisition will not allow this heresy to spread. The only true path in life is the will of the twins. Life offers us no other choice. You are hereby ordered to disperse at once. Most people leave the square immediately. Few want to get involved with the Inquisition. Some people stay, however, and some even shout angrily, "We want to listen to Luke. He is the Patriarch of Archnia, and he has more to say. Get away from our sermon, old believers. We will not listen to you in your hoary old lies about the lots. Inquisitors, bring those who may yet listen back to their lots, and leave the others to champions of faith." The black-clad Inquisitors descend from the podium and approach the people who chose to stay. With nothing but their words, they make people stop shouting and start listening. The uproar ceases quickly. They have dissected the crowd, split it into smaller groups that surround each Inquisitor. One of these Inquisitors chooses to approach you. Oh man, I didn't choose to stay. I didn't get a choice. I don't want to be here. He is a humble-looking man of age with a rough haircut. He looks you straight in the eye as his lively, soulful voice forces you to listen to his words despite yourself. My name is Father Jeremiah. I know your thoughts were stirred by the Patriarch's words. You are not sure whom to trust. But I teach at the seminary. I have been studying the teachings of the twins my entire life. You can trust me. I know can hear what I have to say. I see their light in your eyes, the light of the true faith. Will you listen to my counsel, my son? My balls! You feel no malice in the words of Inquisitor Jeremiah, only hope. It is his lot to aid you, to guide you away from error, and set you on the path of the true faith. He is a priest, so he should know the truth. Or perhaps the Inquisitor himself is in the wrong. Do I listen, debate, or resist? I'm just gonna resist him, man. I'm not gonna be ordered around by him, and I have no business arguing over faiths. You strike a pose of authority and eye Father Jeremiah sharply. Inquisitors cannot order people around, you say. It is not within the lot of the clergy. Only nobles can give you orders. The other commoners look at you in terror. You have just defied an Inquisitor. However, Father Jeremiah still looks at you without any of the anger you had expected. My son, your words do indeed contain a germ of truth. I am an Inquisitor of the clergy, and by the will of the twins, I cannot give you any orders. But know this, the Inquisition does not imprison everyone suspected of heresy. We exist to protect souls, to guide and save them. We pursue dangerous doctrines and seek to rescue every soul we meet. Arrest or execution is our last resort, reserved only for sinners beyond redemption. You can see that I am merely speaking to you right now. I have not resorted to force, nor am I giving you any orders. But if the need arises, I will summon the champions of faith, nobles who will be there to give orders and punish those who defy the church. Fuck you, Jeremiah! But as long as you are not calling for the overthrow of faith, you are safe from them. And as you said, it is not within my lot to give you orders. You are free to go. but expect no mercy in the hereafter, for after we die, there will be none. With a bitter smile, the Inquisitor leaves you and proceeds further. You leave the square freely, your dignity preserved. The remaining people in the square continue arguing with the other Inquisitors. Armed champions of faith stand nearby, but they do not intervene. Luke and his retinue can no longer be seen. Only one thing keeps nagging at you: Father Jeremiah's words about how there will be no mercy in the hereafter. My diplomacy is promising. The advance of the new faith. Patriarch Luke's sermons have converted many commoners and nobles to the mantle of the new faith. There are now several temples in Eterna that follow the new canons, with Luke's blessing. This has led to no small amount of anger among the followers of the old faith. Two mighty bishops of the church lead the new faith. One of them is Luke, the Patriarch of Archnia himself, spiritual mentor of the capital province. He preaches all across Archnia, his every sermon adding to the new faith's flock. The other leader of the new faith is Patriarch Junius Diamant. Hailing from a great Archnian dynasty, he is the de facto ruler of the Astinia province. Adored by his subjects, he has founded the Holy Order anew. Junius Diamant rarely preaches, but people believe the Astinian Patriarch attends to the needs of all who convert to the new faith. The schism within the church is growing. The split has furthered the divide between the commoners and the nobles, though thankfully there has been no direct conflict as of yet. But it has become clear there is no way to stop the steady advance of the new faith. Born from the death of Patriarch Votis, it grows stronger by the day. The city that never sleeps. The next few weeks pass by in hard work and preparation for the coming entrance exam at the Imperial College. You grow more and more exhausted with each passing day, so much so that one night you fall asleep while studying another book. When you finally come to, you decide it is high time to get some recreation outside. The city of Eterna amazes you as you stroll through its splendid streets. It is another night, a different night, yet the city is beautiful still. The shining pillar is a slice of light against the dark night sky. The lamps on the facades of the buildings are lit. Night descends on the capital. You don't feel like going back to your books tonight. Recently you made the acquaintance of several young men. They are children of the nobles of the mantle, just like you, sent to the capital to earn their noble titles at the college. You decide to seek them out. Your new friends are having a late dinner on the next street over, loudly discussing their plans for the night. Some speak eagerly of a dueling club where you can see the most skilled and ardent jewelers in the Empire doing what they do best. You have never seen professional jewelers fight. It must be far more exciting than Father's fencing lessons, or that fight in the ruins in Anazotti. And if luck favours you, perhaps you can even make useful contacts among the noble families in the capital. The others try to convince the rest to take a trip to a certain secret salon. The establishment is expecting a guest tonight, they say, a young lady who speaks about the true state of affairs in the Empire. There are many questions about the nature of the place and identity of the mysterious speaker, but the young men have only one answer. They are forbidden to speak outside the club. However, they can take you there as long as you aren't afraid to learn a dangerous truth. There are others still drinking their fill of wine rather than eating. Fencing, they say. Speeches, nonsense. The place you ought to go tonight, they claim, is the Marchian Society. A gathering for those of common estate but uncommon opinions that offer pleasures for everyone. Pleasures of the palate, pleasures of drink, pleasures of the flesh. Is this not heresy and crime? Perhaps. And yet some of your newfound friends are eager to go there. In the end, your group splits into three to spend the night as they see fit. What will it be? A contest featuring the best fencers in Eterna? An establishment both mysterious and dangerous? Or an encounter with people who defy their lot with audacity? You weigh your options. Now, I need to forget the Marchian Society. That one does not appeal to me. It's between the dueling club, to make contacts, or the secret salon, because it's dangerous and mysterious. Dangerous and mysterious is the way we're gonna go. The secret salon is an unremarkable wooden building down an alleyway a few blocks from the Great Temple of the Twins. A couple of tough, taciturn fellows at the door eye you suspiciously. Their faces are obscured by hoods. One of your newfound friends nods to them, and you are allowed inside. The inner rooms are stuffy and overcrowded. All the partitions have been removed to make room for more people. There is a raised platform next to one of the walls, perhaps a stage. There are benches all around. They are occupied by people of the common estate, most of them modestly dressed. They are artisans, tinkers, street vendors, students. Yet, you see that some of them are wealthy and impeccably dressed. A mop-headed young man dressed like a low-ranking clerk appears on the stage. He claps to attract the public's attention. When the house goes quiet, he reads a series of pamphlets condemning the supreme authorities of the Empire and their obsolete rule. A group of young men appear on the stage next, their faces covered in blue paint. They perform a derisive play entitled A Day in the Life of the Tempests. The performances are many, but their goal is always the same: They all claim the Empire is stuck in the past and has to change. Then finally, after another voice of accusation, a young girl appears on the stage and the crowd immediately grows silent. This is her, the mysterious guest they were talking about. You look at her from the crowd. You see short black hair, a slender figure, and those familiar shining eyes. Sophia! Brothers and sisters, you all came to this place because deep in your hearts you know. It's Sophia, the girl who used to live next door. She's grown so much since you've last seen her, but what is she doing here? But before Sophia even finishes her first sentence, a short man in a shabby jacket jumps up onto the stage. He flashes a badge and screams at the crowd, "Nobody move! You're all under arrest as accomplices to an insurrection against the Empire!" Oh shit! Imperial gendarmes barge into the house. Swords and crossbows glint in the dim light. First there is confusion, then panic. Screams of fear and outrage fill the hall. Sophia is already gone. You can barely hear the cries demanding that you stay where you are. People start pushing against the gendarmes, against the doors, against the windows. The din is deafening. Only one thought remains in your mind. You have to run. Run away as fast as you can. You push your way to the furthest window in the hall. A hand grabs you by the jacket of your sleeve. You try to pry it off without looking and keep pushing forward. The expensive jacket starts to tear at the shoulder. The window frame breaks and falls outside. You drop down after it. Shards of glass bite into your hands, but you barely feel the pain. You'll have time to feel it later. But now, you need to run. You run and dodge and weave through the alleyways before finally heading for the lodging house. Your heart is racing, your hands are shaking, blood is dripping from the cuts on your arms. You have no idea what happened to the people who were arrested. Finally, you reach your room and collapse onto the bed. You are safe from pursuit, but not from anxiety. What was Sophia going to say? How did she end up here in the capital after she escaped? Was she arrested too? There are too many questions, but you have no way to answer them. Eventually, you drift off into a restless sleep. My scheming has increased. That was a long year. The year is 1135 and I am 17, and it looks as though youth only lasts for 4 years. Thank God for that, because that took forever. The Code of Laws. You are on your way to the largest library in Eterna to study for your entry exam. It is right next to the college. The streets are full of people. Everybody's excited. You hesitate for a few seconds, then let your curiosity get the better of you and head towards the place where you will soon study. Before long, you hear the shouting. The Great Chancellor is about to give a speech about the future of the Empire. You cannot possibly miss this. You mix with the crowd and soon find a convenient place to listen and watch what is about to unfold. On the steps of the college, you see a small tribune guarded by 2 Archnians armed with swords. This is the first time you have ever seen an Archnian standing guard, let alone 2 of them. The doors of the college open to reveal a stately Archnian surrounded by an honor guard. It is he, Cornelius Tempest, Great Chancellor of the Empire, younger brother to the Emperor himself. He heads for the tribune and casts a look over the square. It is full of people in awe and utter silence. Except for me, of course. I continue to growl away. Shit, another new voice. Long ago, humans witnessed the Archnians' arrival. The 2 nations built the Empire side by side. The provinces joined us one by one, and Magra was the final province to attain the absolute might and majesty of the blessed Archnian Empire. Yet there was another great event long before that. 4 centuries ago, the twins had graced us with their presence. With their arrival, the twins granted us their will. They showed us their love and their law, and they granted us knowledge of what awaits us in the hereafter. They chose the dynasty of Tempest to rule the Empire, and from that day forth, our dynasty has ruled this land, ordained by the gods themselves. However, it is our duty to the twins not to seek power for power's sake, but rather to lead the Empire to further prosperity. And so the Great Imperial Council is soon to review and adopt a new set of laws called the Creed. Under the Creed, all estates will be granted rights. Under the Creed, there will be one law for all Imperial citizens to obey, human or Archnian, from the lowliest commoner to the Emperor himself. The strife among the estates will end. A single law will resolve all of our quarrels. Glory to the Empire! The Great Chancellor throws his arms in the air. The crowd murmurs and applauds in approval. Cornelius Tempest casts another look over the crowd and leaves. The crowd disperses. The sounds of agitated discussion are everywhere. Is it true that the Emperor's dynasty seeks to grant equal rights to all estates? What will happen to the Empire then? The girl from your past. It is early morning. You have been awake since sunrise, studying. There is a knock at the door. Is it a letter from home or a hotel servant? You open the door and freeze! Stunned. Hello, Brante. it. Before you stand Sapphire, the girl who used to live next door. She is all grown up now. She looks so different, but you would always recognize those blue eyes, no matter what. You gesture for her to come in. Sapphire enters the room, glances around and sits in an armchair. You eye the girl you used to know as you sit across from her. But the young woman you see now has little in common with the girl you used to know. There is cold steel in the way that she looks at things. Her hair is cut short. But what is she doing here?
I can explain. I've been living in Eterna for a long time now, ever since I ran away from Anazotti. I heard the other day that you left for the capital to get into the college, so I found you, and here I am.
You ask how Sapphire learned about your arrival and where you are staying, but she answers your questions with an enigmatic smile.
We'll get to that later. Right now, I want to see how much you've changed since we last saw each other. As for me, I've changed a lot. I am a whole different person now.
You look away as you recall your previous encounter back when Sapphire ran away from her Arcanian master. Sapphire chuckles as she continues.
Would you like to know what happened next? I travelled through the entire empire all alone. I had nothing. My journey ended only when I reached this place, the capital, with all its important people and events. This is the heart of the empire. It's a place where I can make a difference. I've made friends here, found people I can truly call my family. I've even gotten an education of sorts, and I have a purpose now. I fight against injustice. I fight against the lots. I fight those who treat our lives like mud on the pavement. And no, I'm not afraid to tell you that. I came to you for a good reason. I need help. I know you. I have faith in your good heart. And besides, this is also about the Imperial College you want to enroll in. There is a scholar there by the name of Bartholomew Dextra. He teaches natural sciences at the college. Dextra is an old man, but he's quite progressive. He'll stop at nothing to advance science and acquire new knowledge.
How much is she going to say to me, man?
As you know, only second-generation nobles or above are allowed to teach at the college, but Dextra, he is a commoner. He forged his patent of nobility to get a position at the college, but the secret chancellery recently learned of this. Dextra is about to face true death for this forgery. But how is that justice? A man wants to teach people, and for this, they're going to take all his lives? They're going to punish him for the crime of being born in the wrong estate? It's evil and obscene, and I will not stand for it. Dextra deserves to be rescued, but I don't want to put anyone in danger, so I need your help.
Why? Are you going to put me in danger?
You're from a rich family. You're almost a noble. If you help me get Dextra out of the city, nobody will suspect anything. No one will know, and the scholar will live on to continue his research elsewhere, far away from the secret chancellery. Will you help me?
You feel perplexed by Sapphire's sudden request. She's asking you to break imperial law and undermine the work of the secret chancellery to save this scholar. Rescuing Dextra would be an adventure, but it will also be incredibly dangerous. And besides, Dextra is a fake noble. He resorted to lies and deceit to get to his current position. How much does this matter to you? Sapphire's blue eyes are studying you, waiting for your reply. I can either help her or refuse. Dextra is a fake noble. He resorted to lies and deceit, and that I respect. Let's help him. Helping him, not her. You promised to help Sapphire. Bartholomew Dextra does not deserve this. He has to leave the capital. She can count on you.
I knew I could count on you. Then we must act at once. There's no time to waste. Dextra is to be arrested tomorrow. Here's his address. Go there as soon as the sun sets. No one will suspect you. Dextra often tutors young men for the college entrance exams. Tell him the owl sent you. Use the back door to get out. A carriage will drive up to the backyard. The driver will hoot like an owl. He'll take you to the south gate. If the guards stop the carriage, just talk your way out of it. Once you're outside the city, Dextra will ride away in a different carriage. You'll go back the way you came, and I'll meet you in Majesty Square.
You nod to her words and your hands start to shake. You are about to go against the secret chancellery, and you are going to help someone escape punishment. To defy your own lot like this, it's unthinkable. When the sun sets, you leave the lodging house and walk quickly, glancing over your shoulder repeatedly. Bartholomew Dextra's house must be around here somewhere. You find the place. A genteel old man opens the door. His face is covered in wrinkles. His shoulders are stooped, and yet his eyes are sharp and lively. Bartholomew Dextra looks at you for a moment, then asks why you have paid him a visit. You tell him you want to enroll in the college and you are looking for a tutor. Dexter nods and invites you inside. Once you make sure nobody else can hear or see you, you whisper to the scholar about the real reason for your visit. The secret chancellery will be coming for him tomorrow, and he has to leave now to escape true death. Dexter freezes, then turns to you. How do you know about him and the secret chancellery? You tell him that the owl sent you and has provided for his escape. As for the secret chancellery, they want him for forging a patent of nobility. The moment you utter Sapphire's name, the lecturer calms down and starts packing for the journey. You watch him distractedly and notice that he lives in a rather austere fashion. It does not take him long to pack. They hear the quiet clacking of hooves in the yard. Carefully, you and Dexter proceed to the backyard of the building. You see a carriage there. The driver hoots quietly. You get in. The carriage rolls down the road. There is a tense silence in the closed-off space inside the carriage. The scholar wrings his hands anxiously. Through the carriage windows, you see the massive city gate passing by. You are almost outside the city, but then a loud voice reaches you. Halt! The driver obediently halts the carriage. 2 city gendarmes approach you. You leave the carriage to face the gendarmes before they can get a peek inside the carriage. They look you over and ask where you are going so late at night. You tell them that you are son of a judge in Magra, here to enroll in the college, and right now you wish to visit the estate of a newfound friend. To convince them further, you mention the name of a noble son that you have recently become friendly with. The gendarmes release the carriage and wish you a pleasant trip. You drive along the high road until you encounter a peasant wagon. Dexter will take it to seek refuge far away from the capital. Before the two of you part ways, he pats you on the shoulder and tells you that you have done a truly brave deed. That's right, that's what I do! I'm brave and dangerous! You return to the city without incident. You find Sapphire in Majesty Square as agreed, sitting on a bench by a streetlight, reading a book of some sort. She closes the book when she sees you and offers you her hand.
So, did everything go according to plan?
Too fucking right it did! You nod.
Then we've earned ourselves a bit of free time. Let's go!
You set off on a walk through the maze of narrow back streets. Finally, you have some time for questions. What happened to Sapphire over the last 2 years? She was just a girl before, a servant. How is she now a revolutionary? Sapphire just smiles sadly.
You've seen what I can do. I'm not just a girl. The Inquisition caught up with me when I ran away from Anazotti. I ended up in the House of Humility, a dreadful place. I got collared. Do you know how it feels to lose your free will? Losing everything that makes you, you?
She unclasps the tall shirt collar that had been hiding her neck all this time, and you see the round mark from the anti-magic collar.
They say a scar like this will remain even after a lesser death, but I got lucky. Patriarch Junius Diamond saved me. Diamond took me and the other mages from the House of Humility and removed our collars. He made me one of his attendants. He taught me that there are no lots. He told me that I'm like this not because I'm a freak, but because it's my nature. He told me I can find a path to the twins like anyone else in the world. And then I was taken. I got out on my own. I found my own lot to protect the common people from the noble yoke, to help others who are as unlucky as I am, to fight for a different world, a world where everybody has equal rights, a world where mages don't get robbed of their will just because one aspect of their birth, a world where the nobles no longer tread upon the commoners. Yes, this is our dream, but we are still so far away from it. But I will keep moving towards it, and I'll stop at nothing.
A strange, distorted expression appears on Sapphire's face, but she quickly returns to normal. You keep walking until you are at your lodging house again. For a moment, you just stand there, looking at each other. Then suddenly, Sapphire embraces you. For a moment, she remains still in your arms and whispers,
You should join my cause. If we work together, one day we'll become a force to be reckoned with. I know you came here to find your way, but I'll never believe you really want to bind yourselves to other people's laws and desires for the rest of your life. The path I walk is dangerous, it's almost hopeless, but it's worth living for. Think about it. Goodbye.
Then she withdraws just as quickly and disappears in the dark streets of Eterna. You make your way back to your room, exhausted by the events of the day. Was this really just a single day in your life? I was hoping it was a fucking year, man. Whoa.
I will never forget that day.
What day?
For it was then that I chose the path I would walk for the rest of my life.
Oh, that day. In we go then. The 3 lots. There are only a few days left until the Imperial College entrance exam. History, law, theology. You spend all day reading and rereading the books you brought with you, staying at the Library of Eterna for hours sometimes until it closes. As the day of the exam approaches, your hands start shaking more and more, and finally, the day comes. A clear sky hangs over Eterna today. The breeze is warm. You dress in your best outfit, a grey jacket and velvet cloth trousers. You comb your hair carefully and polish your boots until they shine. You leave the lodging house and head for the Imperial College. Your legs grow heavier with each step. Your anxiety at the fact your fate will be decided today is virtually tearing you apart. The college is a majestic building that looks not unlike a castle. In the square in front of it, you can already see several dozen people. Young men, sons of nobles of the mantle like you, waiting for the college's doors to open. Time slows to a crawl. At last, the doors open. A stately man dressed in a professor's mantle appears at the entrance. He is the dean of the college. The students-to-be fall silent as the dean gets ready to deliver his welcoming speech. But the silence is interrupted by heavy footsteps and clanking armor. A squadron of warriors emerge near the college, led by Arcanian officers. Their banner bears an image of golden grains. The noble militia of Monia province? What are they doing here? The nobles of Monia form a circle around the college, each warrior moving quietly and precisely until a chain is formed. One of the Arcanians is clad in an old-fashioned suit of armor. He is the leader of the militia. He locks the bar on the massive doors of the college into place, then proceeds to the stairs to address the crowd loudly.
Commoners! Before you stands Aeterius of the Monroe dynasty, Archduke of Monia. By my will, the college is hereby closed, and today's entrance exam is cancelled. Your lowly origins make you unfit for the great honor of rendering service to the Empire, a right that ought to be only available to the hereditary nobles of the sword. The college's reputation has been tarnished. It breeds mock nobles who bear not a trace of noble blood. You belong in the lowly estate, but have forgotten your place. Cornelius Tempest and other traitors to the Empire indulging you and defacing the institution of the nobility for their lowly interests. A noble lot for those of lowly birth? How can this be? I will not stand for this disintegration of the Imperial Order. Now turn away from the college this instant and return to the humble trades of your ancestors. Plough your fields, mend your boots, and work and suffer by your lot. Any of you dares to set foot upon these stairs, you will be killed at once. Shit. The students-to-be meet this speech with a stunned silence. The crowd in the square is growing, however. The news of the Monian noble militia and the college's closing spreads through the streets like wildfire. More humans join the crowd. College students, commoners, officials who worked hard to be ennobled. Unrest grows around you. You hear people calling to rush Archduke Monroe's forces to take control of the college and defend your right to become noble. The Emperor himself gave us this right. We have to fight for it. This is a decisive moment for all of you. The old gentry has challenged you. Will you accept this challenge? In the face of this shameful, illegal act by the Archduke's forces, you may prove that all of you deserve the noble lot. You will need to break through the cordon, get inside the college and take control of it. The nobles will never dare hurt you if your presence is strong enough. If you are ready to risk it all and fight for your rights to the nobility, you will have to lead the charge. Fuck me, I'm gonna die here. People keep coming to the square in the meantime, including students and teachers from the Divine Seminary. The lot of the clergy is to guide others to the right path. When the estates clash, the priests are bound to intervene. The seminary teachers instruct their students to form a line between the noble militia and the outraged crowd. The priests begin telling the warrior nobles and the righteous commoners to return to the preordained divine order, lest they provoke the wrath of the gods. The wrath of the gods. As the priests utter these words, the crowd around you disappears. A vision appears before your eyes. The Empire is ablaze. You see burning land steeped with pain and despair everywhere you look. Rivers overflowing to extinguish the burning world. You can tell that soil scorched by such fire will never bear fruit again. The gods-given vision demands to be heard, demands to be prophesied to the world, but only a priest may speak to the twins, and for the twins. Will you keep it inside, or will you step onto a path the twins have revealed to you? Somebody shoves you in the back, and you snap out of the vision. You turn around to see a small but decisive troop of commoners moving quickly through the crowd. They are led by Sophia. As soon as she sees you, she signals to them to stop.
So you're here too? Going to rush the college, are you? Can't you see it already? The laws cannot be trusted. They gave you the right to study here just to throw you a bone. When the going gets tough, your masters will take it all away. It's time for you to decide. We are the lotless, and we are not putting up with this system any longer. We will fight for a new world. Are you coming with us, or are you going to submit to them? There are students and professors locked inside the college. Who knows how long Monroe will maintain this siege? And what if they start slaughtering people? Neither group of nobles will care what happens to them. We're going to go inside and pull them out. Come with us if you're ready to take control of your own destiny.
The tension in the square is palpable, and the situation is about to implode. Students, commoners, nobles of the mantle, followers of the new faith, all of them are gathering their forces to move on the wall of soldiers. They expect the nobles to let them through en masse. Surely they won't start a massacre. The Lotless, led by Sophia, prepared to break through the siege to rescue the people in the college. And all the while the priests preach peace to both sides of the conflict. The college is your only way into the nobility. Only you can fight for your new lot and fulfill your duty to your family. You could organize an offensive strong enough to get into the college and thus seize your lawful right like a true nobleman. Yet the revelation about the wrath of the gods still pulses in your mind. Once revealed, this vision will take you on a different path, standing with the priests and preaching what you've just seen, warning all of the dire danger of the path of warring estates, bringing the twins' word to the people and guiding them to salvation. Could this be your new lot? Sophia and the Lotless, they expect you to join their struggle. They are waiting for you to cast off the old ways and the eternal yoke of subservience. If you choose this path, you will not change your lot, and your suffering will continue. But your suffering might just change this world. This is the moment. Your future life will be decided here and now. And I can do absolutely fucking anything I want to. So to follow the Lotless, I need nothing. That's just a decision I can make. To preach, my eloquence needed to be 10 or greater, which it is. To break the cordon into the college, one of those must be true, my diplomacy or my valor. And both of them are true, because that is the path I need to take. Break through the cordon! You get to work, recalling the books on military tactics you used to study as a boy. You call out to the students and children of nobles around you and assume command. They hear you, and they listen. You stand together in close formation and march towards the weakest link in the line of nobles. More people joining you along the way. A veritable phalanx of young men, armed with nothing but determination against the noblemen's swords. The nobleman militia readies their steel. The Arcanian officer in command of this section halts you and orders you to turn back. You step forward and give him your reply. Get fucked, man! These people are here to study at the college as the Emperor himself has decreed. You have every right to fulfill the imperial law, and any noble who dares intervene will be defying Uther Tempest II himself. Your plan works! The officer hesitates when confronted with your words and your vigor. The noble militia is no longer ready to use their swords. This is your chance. You command your forces to focus their advantage in numbers for a singular push, and the militia line breaks. You reach the college gates. More people start running for the breach. The nobles get their bearings quickly enough to restore the line, but your phalanx is already inside. You waste no time and begin barricading the gates. The students who are stuck inside the college run towards you. You quickly tell them your plan. Block all the doors and windows with whatever comes to hand before Monrogue's forces can get in. If they do get in, only the twins know what they will do. One by one, all the entrances are swiftly barricaded. The riot outside the college is calmed for a moment, it seems. Through an open window you hear Monrogue giving orders to his militia. The Archduke is forming a strong perimeter outside the college, ready for a proper siege. Students and professors of the college go to the balcony to negotiate. You are among them. Shit, what was his voice?
Surrender and leave this building! I am not here to kill or execute you. No loyal subjects will die by my hand.
Then I don't have to leave if you're not going to execute me. The humans boo and jeer at Monrogue's proposal. The dean himself appears on the balcony. The imperial family established a college, he claims, and he cannot defy orders given by the great Arcanian Tempest dynasty. And so the college remains besieged. The noble militia stands in a circle around the building, but there are no preparations for an assault. The outrage in the square continues. You remain in control of the college for the entire day and the following night. But at sunrise, the Emperor's herald arrives in the square. He brings news. The Emperor is delighted to see Archduke Monrogue in the capital, yet he demands that the noble militia of Monia vacate the square and allow classes to begin at the college. The besieged college celebrates the news. This is the work of Cornelius Tempest, Great Chancellor, the Emperor's brother. He managed to convince the Emperor to order Monrogue to withdraw. Even the Archduke of Monia, the most powerful noble lord in all the Empire, cannot disobey a direct order from the Emperor. Still, the college would never have held out for an entire day without your phalanx's determination and your daring plan. That's right, it's all down to me! You, the people of the common estate, have secured your right to study and earned the noble lot. The college is open again, and the entrance exam will take place in a few days. You aren't nervous at all this time. All the lessons at home, the books, the schooling, your own noble actions, all that work and effort has finally reached its culmination. Culmination. The procedure for appointing a provincial overseer. The 5 great Orkneyan dynasties. The property rights of all estates. You answer all these questions with ease. Of course I do. Hours pass, and the dean of the college reads the names of the new students to the young men gathered on the college steps. Your name is among the first. He praises what you did in defense of the college. People like you are the Empire's future, Sir Brante, he says. Sunlight fills the college square. It feels so soft and soothing here in Eterna, not as harsh as it gets in Anazotti. You watch the pillar shine in the sky as you walk down the steps of the college. You are a Brante, the 3rd judge in the family, the man who will soon join the family's noble blood tide. You have seized your right to achieve the nobleman's lot. You should write to your father now. He would be so proud of you. Path of the nobleman! Like your father and grandfather, you enroll in the Imperial College, hoping to become a judge and a nobleman of the mantle. Bonds of friendship. You return to the lodging house one last time to gather your belongings for the move to your new home. A young man dressed in the uniform of the military academy greets you by the door. It takes you a moment to recognize Thomas. Your friend locks you in an embrace. Brante, hey, how are you? I heard about the nasty stuff that went down in the college square. Those damn gentry would do anything to keep lowborn folks under their thumb. Glad the situation resolved itself. As for me, I'm an academy cadet now. He is beaming with pride. You invite him in and chat while you pack. Thomas continues to relay the news to you as you walk up the stairs. I made it into the top 10, can you imagine? Did pretty well in sparring and the sciences. It was all thanks to the help you gave me back at school in Anazotti. I'll be studying the art of war now, and then it's a quick march to a noble title. How about you? You tell Thomas about what happened over the past few days, and the path that you have chosen. He remains quiet as you speak. Both of you realise that you may never see each other again. You know, Brante, here's what I think. You may have your own path in life, but you're my friend. We've got to make sure our friendship lasts forever, no matter what happens to us. Here, I bought 2 brass rings. If the old tradition is to be believed, both the rings and their wearers will always remain close to each other, no matter where their fate takes them. What do you say? The 2 of you grew up side by side. Thomas, the audacious, hot-blooded, sharp-tongued boy who used to live next door. You can't imagine your childhood without him. But would it be right to promise him that your friendship will last forever, no matter what happens? 2 rings made of plain brass lie in his open palm. If you wear these rings, you will be bound by ties of friendship for the rest of your life. I cannot take the ring, and I cannot end the friendship. I have a choice only of keeping things as they are, or swearing an oath of friendship. How is that different to taking the ring? I still take the ring. I don't understand the difference here. I will take the ring. Let's swear an oath of friendship. You take one of the rings from his outstretched palm. The 2 of you have walked side by side ever since you were children. Even now, you are walking in the same direction toward a noble title. You as a judge, and Thomas as a warrior. Nothing will ever tarnish your bond. You swear an oath of eternal friendship to Thomas. Thomas solemnly swears the same. You put the brass ring on your pinky. A perfect fit. Thomas follows suit. He starts beaming again. Now we're friends forever, for all eternity. We gotta celebrate this. Come, I know a place. I gotta show you. Tastiest mead I've ever tried, Brante. My treat. The 2 of you go to a noble salon by the square of the Emperor Severin. Surrounded by tobacco smoke and mead bottles, you wag your tongues, recall the days of your adolescence, and make plans for the future. Nobody knows what could be waiting for you, but you promise you will never lose sight of each other. The bond of friendship has happened. We have formed an unbreakable bond of friendship. A letter from home. As soon as you are accepted into the Imperial College, you send a letter back home. The family replies quickly. Their letter arrives in under a week. Most of it is covered with your father's handwriting. I'm proud of you, my son, and I believe your grandfather takes pride in you too. You have brought our family one step closer to being ennobled by the sword. You will make an excellent judge. I have complete faith in your intellect and your will. You shall bring glory to our family. Stephen's congratulations follow your father's. Congratulations, brother. The simple folk could only dream of what you have already achieved. You can thank father and grandfather for this opportunity, but it was you who proved yourself worthy. Once you receive your new lot, you and I will be equals at last. Then some words of praise from Mother and Nathan.
You have brought your father much joy and made him proud, and I am witness to this. You now walk this path all thanks to him. Yet it saddens me that you did not consider the Divine Seminary, where you could have dedicated your life to our gods, as well as the Empire itself.
You selfish bitch, Lydia! It's my future! Why are you trying to tell me what I should have done and telling me how disappointed you are on a day you should be proud of my actions? Projecting that crap onto me!
You worked so hard for this. We held a big feast in your honor back home. I hope you've achieved all you ever wanted.
Not yet, Nathan. I've still got plenty of work to do. And at the very end, there is a small note from your sister.
Congratulations, good luck.
Bitch, I thought we were close. Why? Why is Gloria so upset? The ball? It is only a few days since you become a student at the college. Your education has barely begun when an amazing piece of news surprises all the students. Every year, Cornelius Tempest, the great chancellor, and the emperor's younger brother grants an honor to all future nobles of the mantle and invites them to a masquerade at his summer palace. The professors and lecturers instruct you to look and act your best in order to preserve the college's honor. They tell you more about the ball too. All who attended from the college must prove themselves with words or deeds to the members of the great Arcanian dynasties that will be present there. This means the reputation of your home province will be at stake too. It's time to get ready. You order a proper suit for the occasion and a mask to go with it. It looks simple, but by no means plain, and only hides your eyes. What have I bought? Sunglasses? The day comes. You spend an entire morning preparing for the ball. Your fellow students give you hints about how to attach the cuffs, keep the collar straight, and make sure your hair remains coiffed for the entire night. Soon the carriages start flocking to Cornelius Tempest's summer palace. The tall, ornate outer fence surrounds a sprawling garden in full bloom. The marble-paved driveway is so wide it can accommodate 2 rows of carriages. You and your fellow students walk up the massive stairs to the front door of the palace. You seem tiny and incongruous against the background of this scenic grandeur. The Master of Ceremonies instructs all newcomers to seek their province's coat of arms. You see the banner of Magra from far away, depicting the silver tree digging its roots into the murky grey soil. Below it is a banner bearing the coat of the arms of the Milonidas dynasty. It turns out students from the college were not the only ones invited to this party. You see Academy cadets lined up beneath the banners too, and Tomas is among them. A wide grin appears on his face when he sees you go under the banner of Magra. I just knew you'd be here today, pal. What can I say? Congratulations, student. As for me, I'm not so bad off myself, see? The military academy is father and mother to me now. His merry speech is interrupted by a tall, proud Orcnian in a heavy cloak. You recognize him. He is Dorius Otten, Sophia's former master. Make way for your commander, soldiery. The last time you saw Otten, he was searching the back streets of Anazotti by your house for a girl servant. But now the young Arcanian's uniform betrays his high standing. He is young, yet he is already the province's commander. Who put him in charge of all the military forces of Magra at such an age? What's wrong? You know him or something? A brief description of Otten is enough to wipe the smile off his face. You see no other high-ranking officials bearing the colours of Magra at this party. It seems Dorius Otten will be the main representative of your province tonight. You watch the other college students and academy cadets line up under the provincial banners. The blue and silver banner of Arcnia, the Emperor's own province, is in the very centre of the hall. Judging by the hilts jutting out from beneath their belts, many of those who surround the banner are nobles of the sword. Tomas is clearly jealous. The group from Arcnia stands proudly, ennobled by its iconic and dignified history. The Arcnian race and the Empire originated in their very lands. A sizable group of students stand under the banner of Monia, a wealthy agricultural province signified by yellow grains on a field of ore. The wealth of the young men beneath this banner is plain to see. Their attire is on par with the Arcnians in terms of luxury, and perhaps even more vibrant in terms of colour. The most numerous group at the party stands under the banner of Illyria, a yellow griffin against a field of azure. All the Illyrians are clothed in well-tailored suits with minimum of decoration. Some of them wear gloves, most of them come from wealthy industrial families, and it seems many of them would feel more at ease in their family factories than at a noble party like this one. 3 banners represent the northern provinces of Fiona, Hermia, and Constanta. These banners, like the groups associated with them, stand together. The Royal Tempest dynasty oversees all 3 of them. The students and cadets are clearly well off, yet they are dressed in modest, functional garments to honour the austere traditions of the North. And finally, the smallest of the groups is represented by an open book against Field of Argent, Astenia, homeland of the Diamond dynasty. By the order of Patriarch Junius Diamond, the open book of the new faith has been added to the banner only recently. Nearly all the young men beneath the banner are clothed in academy uniforms. They wear no adornments but are clad impeccably, with nary a button undone, the embodiment of rigour and restraint. The Master of Ceremonies signals the beginning of the party. It is time for dancing. The first dance is a minuet, and the tradition calls for everyone to dance. Harpsichord music fills the hall. The academy cadets waste no time finding dance partners, and soon already making the fluid first steps of the minuet. You look around. One of the young ladies representing Magra catches your eye. She is slender, like all Arcnians, and clothed in a yellow dress, embroidered with emerald green, her face hidden behind a full mask, decorated with bright green feathers. What happens next seems unbelievable. The enigmatic lady walks towards you. The way she looks at you, the way she walks. The black eyes from behind the mask watch you closely. She tilts her head. There are no words, but you feel there is a question. Is this the one from the fountain? Everyone in the hall is startled by a sudden noise. You look behind you and see Tomas getting up off the floor, his face a grimace of rage. Dorius Otten stands before him, eyeing him with disgust. His arm rests on the hilt of his sword. What the fucking hell is Tomas doing? Who allowed this clumsy commoner inside the great Chancellor's palace? Its noble masters are trying to dance and it's getting underfoot. Tomas looks like he's about to explode in Otten's face, but the smug Arcanian sword is a clear threat. If your friend's rage gets the better of him, he will end up in trouble. The enigmatic Arcanian beauty, however, quickly loses all interest in their quarrel. She comes even closer to you, expecting you to invite her to dance. Hey man, he started that shit, he can look after himself. I'm dancing. You turn your head towards the Arcanian beauty and offer her your hand, taking care not to rush your movements. A moment later, her fingers gracefully come to rest in yours. The masked lady's touch feels electric against your skin. You walk together to the center of the hall where the other couples are already dancing. You bow, and she makes a curtsy. Her hands are incredibly thin. They seem so delicate you fear you might snap them if you squeeze too hard. You adjust to her steps, counting the rhythm of the music. Your lady for the dance is an Arcnian, a noble born to rule, yet this is a dance where you must take the lead. That's right. I'm in charge now. As you walk around her, your eyes catch an embroidered ornament on the arm of her dress. You spy many thin emerald threads, all interwoven into a pattern of interlocking snakes. This young woman is Octavia Milanides, daughter to the Archduke of your home province. I knew it would be. The minuet ends. You bow to the lady and offer to accompany her wherever she chooses before the next dance.
Why, then be so kind to accompany me for another dance.
Before you know it, the night is almost over. Octavia will not let you go. She does not accept another invitation until she has danced with you 3 times. You spot Tomas in the crowd during a break. He catches your eye and salutes you with a wine glass. Judging from his lopsided grin, Otten must have had him removed from the dance floor. But any concern for your friend is forgotten when you see the beautiful Octavia approaching you again. The year is 1136, and I turn 18 years old. But that is where we are going to leave it today, because I'm already feeling a little hoarse. And it has already taken me 90 minutes to read 2 years of my life. Should I go another 90 minutes, I will have no voice left. So chapter 3 will be split into 2 parts. I hope you are enjoying the video, and you are as keen as I am to learn what happens next in the life of Sir Hood Brante. All that is left to say is, thank you for watching the video. Take care of yourselves out there, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.
The video is over. Now you must subscribe. Down there. Or there. Or where? There. Subscribe.